Phosphor fans, welcome back. Logbook.com here. We are playing something quite a bit more modern than the usual fare for Phosphor fossils. We are playing Surviving Mars. If you remember where we left off the last time we played, we have the first dozen human colonists on their way to Mars to occupy this Mars dome that you see on your screen right there, which is still a, it is still a work in progress, but it has a fuel refinery, a polymer factory. It has up here a rare metals extractor, which means we're going to be able to start making money immediately. That's helpful. It's not the object of the game, but it helps you support the continued expansion of your mission. So our power status is that even with all of these buildings up and running, we are producing about twice as much power as we're using. That's okay. That's just fine. Alright, we've got our rover down here scraping some raw metal deposits. And oh, there's an anomaly way up there. There must have been a meteor strike, because that is something that will reveal further anomalies. So let's send our Explorer rover up there. Oh, it's time. Here we go.
Milestone achieved. New colonists have arrived. Crop failure reported.
Oh, that's always good. There's the crop failure.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
There, because that didn't produce very much in the way of food. All right. Our first Mars colonists are in there, getting checked in. The rare metals extractor is going.
The first founders have set foot on the Red Planet.
Okay, now this is kind of important because you are 10 Martian days or sols away from being able to add any colonists. You've got to keep everybody alive for that 10 days.
Research complete. Anomaly analyzed.
Usually not a big deal. Oh, hang on. Lambda Industries is immensely satisfied with our helping hand on the data analysis and wish to repay us with a reward of our choosing. How about a discount on outsourcing? Hopefully that will last for the remainder of the game. That would be a huge help. Let's go ahead and for the next research tasks we will pick bigger rockets so we can send more people, and we'll learn how to build our own polymer and fuel refineries. Alright, so the polymer factory is operating. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it because it's cut off by the frame around the screen. We are producing exactly as much water as we need. That might be a bit of a problem. I think I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to have a supply pod sent from Earth, which will bring us more of the little moisture evaporators, and That way we can be generating more water than we absolutely need at any given point. As you can see, it's added a bunch of new milestones. These are all related to terraforming tasks. So let's see, we are now producing fuel. The rocket's refueled already, so we're doing good there. I want to go ahead and build a greenhouse gas factory. Going to put it along where there is already electrical cable. Okay, our rocket has been unloaded. It's ready to go. You notice it's already got 1 unit of rare metals aboard. This stage in the game, though, however, I don't want to send all of that to Earth because I'm going to go ahead and build the electronics factory so that we can, instead of having to order more units of electronics as a resource from Earth, we can now construct our own, but you need rare metals to do that. There's our supply pod with our moisture evaporators. And the pod doesn't just have to sit there having been used up. You can salvage it for metal. So our moisture evaporator that we already built is up here. Now, these have a radius too, and if you put them inside each other's radius, they will be less effective at harvesting water out of the Martian atmosphere. Obviously, that's a bad thing, so we are going to not do that. Alright, it'll take him.
Complete.
We can now build the big dome. The big dome. The big dome. Alright, what else have we got? Oh, we could build our own electronics factory. Let's see, what else could we be doing? Drone hubs. Yes, let's build drone hubs first. The electronics factory is this building that I just placed in the dome. There's already someone working in there. Alright. So we have scientists working in each of our labs. Those labs will work better with more scientists who we are, let's see, we're about 8 Martian days away from being able to call up more of those. Building's not working. Not enough workers. Yeah. I get it, but, you know, it's really early in the game. We're actually not doing bad.
Funding received.
Oh, we got money to spend from that 1 unit of rare metals that we shipped back to Earth aboard the rocket. Not a bad deal at all. Other things you can build include a machine parts factory, which just requires metal. And speaking of metal, how is our rover doing down here? You've still got empty space. Is there nothing else you could be harvesting? like that metal up there. Now, let's see, we have an anomaly here. Let's send our Explorer rover to check that out. Get it started on that journey. Ah, another water deposit. And not a very big one. And yet, well, no, it's not the closest because we have these down here, which are comparable in size, but not as much of a struggle to connect them to what we already have established here. Now there is also another concrete deposit. The deposits such as the metal, rare metal concrete deposits, even the underground water deposits, all of them will eventually be tapped out. So in this game, you have to be thinking ahead on how to, what's the next deposit you're looking at exploiting, because at some point you will have to switch to that one. All right.
Anomaly analyzed.
Now I want you to just unload it. Unload all the metal so you can go get more metal. Metal's kind of hard to get this early in the game if you do not have a deposit handy. Actually, what let's do is let's park the Explorer rover over next to a handy metal deposit, so that way I can streamline the process of the social part of the tech tree here on your research tasks. It may at times seem like the least essential, and yet that stuff is very important, and I don't want to be behind on it right at the beginning of the game. So, and it's also only 1,000 research points, so I'm going to go ahead and get it in the rotation. I think we need to... Oh, that was good. Yeah, the research does cost less. So that was a good decision, because research in this game, it's life or death. Plain and simple. Alright, that metal deposit will not last long. The transport is on its way to mine that. So...
Sector scanned.
Huh, okay.
Building a new home on an alien world, that takes guts, to say the least.
Yay, that's the spirit. That notification is...
Milestone achieved.
Alright, we've grown food. Woohoo! Now, if these first 12 people start having babies this early in the game, then clearly they do not have enough to do in their little Marston. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Another concrete deposit. Concrete deposits, you tend to go through them fairly quickly, so it's not surprising that there are many of those as opposed to anything else here at first in this early stage of the game. Oh yes, low G fungi. I am a low G fungi. So of course I'm going to research that. Basically, what it is it's another another source of food, which is very good to have. All right, now our factory down here that is burning fuel. You can see that it is raising the temperature of Mars 0.25% per sol. All right, low G fungi. Or utility crops, those are very important to have. Trade route. But I don't have a landed rocket. That would actually be a good deal. Okay, so Brazil is our rival colony. This, by the way, is planetary view. in case the big thing over here that says planetary view didn't give that away. When you have a rocket and it's refueled and ready to go, you can send it on expeditions. It will take drones with it, and it will come back with cool stuff, or it may get into trouble and cost a hell of a lot of money to, you know, fish its fat out of the frying pan. That one requires people to go. And then you're in a really interesting situation with regards to what happens if the expedition gets in trouble. We don't have a rocket on the ground right now, though, so that's something to save for later. However, we do have a limited number of machine parts that we are going to chew through fairly quickly because they are required for all of the extractors, all of the factories. And we're also down to 26 units of polymer. I may already need to call for more supplies from Earth. You see, they won't send a passenger rocket right now. All right. Get some more drones on there. Launch it. Things can happen to drones in this game, and so it's not a bad idea to almost overdo it on drones whenever you're calling for supplies. You know, if you have space left on the rocket, drones are not a bad thing to fill out that space with. They're not a cheap thing to fill it out with, but they're handy. They're really handy. All right, so we are raising the temperature of the Martian atmosphere by almost 1%. Now, since I ordered some seeds, there is another building I wish to build. It's called a forestation plant. I'm going to put it kind of... Do I want to put it there, or do I want to put it up here? Let's put it up here by the dome. Putting it right next to the dome might seem kind of counterintuitive, but you put seeds in there and it starts spewing them out, and with the temperature of the Martian atmosphere rising,
Sector scanned.
depending on what you tell it you want, what kind of seed you want to grow, see, it's waiting on that seed right now. Right now, you're just telling it to take a lichen to some lichen. You're telling it to grow moss, basically. Not all of these things are metal. What sector just got scanned? That one. Oh, that's another nice spot. Two metal deposits. And a concrete deposit. All right, our next rocket from Earth will be a bigger rocket. Our next passenger rocket from Earth. Oh, there's our next rocket from Earth right now. Waiting to come down, full of supplies. Supplies! Sorry. Been watching too much Bubble Guppies with my kids over the years. Oh, I can already build a shuttle hub. All right. I'm going to put it there. Shuttle hub is a really cool thing to have because then you have basically kind of flying drones to help stuff get from one place to another really fast. I'm going to take a real-world pause here for a second. Okay, sorry about that little edit, but these things happen. Yeah, the infirmary is a building that is not working because there are no medics. I forgot to put any medics on the first rocket. So I hope nobody had any boo-boos. Alright, we can see our drones are running down here, grabbing fuel. Taking it to the rocket. And continuing to unload resources off of it. So we've got stuff coming and going. Yeah, they're bringing stuff out and then grabbing fuel and going back to the rocket. Some of them are, not all of them. Such handy little robots.
Research complete.
Alright. What else do we have? Oh, okay. Yes, let us start storing large quantities of water. As you can see, the research costs go up significantly. But once we have more scientists in the research labs in the dome, that problem will start to rectify itself a bit. Okay, the The shuttle hub is just barely within the effective range of that drone hub. We need another drone hub, and I think right next to the shuttle hub would be an excellent place to put it.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
In fact, that's what we're researching right now. Oh, a new anomaly. Going to send our Explorer rover out to check that out. Oh, I see some metal deposits that need to be picked up. So let's do that. All right, we're still unloading stuff from the rocket. It's ready to go. All right, everyone just needs to stay alive for another not quite 2 days, and then we can get more folks in here, and we're good. I see green stuff on the ground. Check it out. We have moss growing on Mars. How cool is that? Anomaly analyzed. Uh-oh.
Research complete.
The Explorer made a thorough scan of the anomaly site, but couldn't find anything unusual.
Okay, well, try not to read too much into that, regardless of what the game tries to get you to buy into. Alright, where's that rover with polymers and metals that it found out in the field? Very good, rover. Now, I think it was out here by the exploration rover. Yeah, there's more metal out there, so if it's empty, yeah, scoot back on out there. The amount of vegetation on Mars has grown by 0.02%. And eventually, if you leave it long enough and continue to put more of those greenhouse gases in the atmosphere to warm things up, eventually it will oh, that didn't actually oh, there's the tech to research to build a drone hub. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, like I said, the tech tree is randomized to some extent. And so it gave me a research task to expand drone hubs before it gave me the ability to build them. Go figure.
Funding received.
Okay, oh, I guess there was a little bit of, looked like 1 unit of rare metals on that rocket back to Earth. 17 hours left, and then we can send more people. it's just fun to watch in an ant farm kind of way. Oh, I see we're
Sector scanned.
already full of metals again. Oh. Okay, good. More metal deposits. Lots more metal deposits. And, since the research rover isn't doing anything, I'm just going to use it as a landmark that I can call up real quick to send the transport rover out there to harvest and pick the stuff up.
Research complete.
Okay. So it's unloading all that metal it just went and found. Now, send it back up here, using its sibling as a quick click landmark. Oh,
This will go down in history.
alright. The colony has been evaluated positively. Additional colonists can be called from Earth. Bring him. Alright. I do want specialists. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's start going through our candidates here. Melancholic, not in the early stages of the game. Nerd, that's fine. Yeah, I pretty much have to be a nerd to go to Mars. Gamer, that's fine. And melancholic survivor party animal. Surely these cancel each other out. Like I said, these are, I think they're randomly assigned, and there you go. Get on that rocket, you sexy workaholic vegan. Religious, that's not a bad trait to have. Fit and survivor, that's a very good combination. Get on the rocket, you sexy gambler. How do you have a hypochondriac medic? Okay. Moving on. Moving on. Enthusiastic alcoholic. Is that the same enthusiastic alcoholic from before? I have questions. I have questions about how these traits somehow fail to cancel each other. A gluttonous alcoholic. Yeah, you're waiting for the next. You're waiting for the next spaceship. A hypochondriac alcoholic, even better. A little melancholy, I don't mind, but good grief. But what I'm looking for is basically the traits tend toward balance. You know, the good traits balance out the bad. All right. Oh, we're full. The rocket's full. We have 22 people on board. As you can see over here, we have a capacity of 48 for the living space that we have built. There are only 12 people in there, so there are 36 residential slots still open. And as soon as we have climbed the tech tree to build that additional drone hub, I'm going to start working on the second dome, and it's going to have more stuff in it. More living space. More research facilities. And maybe by that time we will have the medical center tech unlocked. See, right now the electronics factory just has that one poor guy working in there. There's one lady working in the rare metals extractor. There's 2 people working at the polymer factory. That's, yeah, good on you guys. But I was only allowed to send 12 the first time around, so there you go. We have moss growing in the crater. That's awesome. Still just growing on the ground outside, around all the drones. Can't grow anything except moss yet. Small steps. Small steps. Oh, our rover has collected a bunch of metal. Bring it back, get that unloaded so we can go out there and do it again. Oh, we're growing green stuff up here. You can change your perspective in the game. Watch the rover do its thing. Whoa! Well, that was an interesting thing that happened in the background. Oh, one basic dome prefab. This is quite a pretty game. It really is. You know, the whole thing with the sun rising and falling, you know, faster than real time, obviously, but it just looks beautiful.
Sector scan.
The machine I'm playing on right now is not the most powerful thing graphically that has ever been assembled. It was what I could afford in, it was 2016 I got this computer. It's able to run this game really well, so I have to think that on an even better machine, this game would look amazing. Rockscape. A famous rock band called Rockscape wishes to bring their music to Mars for a live performance. They will tour all the different colonies on Mars and have got their own transportation covered. All Rockscape's management needs from us is permission to play and prepare a dome for the event. Let's do it. Oh great, the concert caused several fractures in the superstructure of the hosting dome. So we've got... Oh crap! You rovers better be going to fix that. It were 15 units of polymers to fix that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Alright, we almost got it fixed now. Although, okay, all fixed, no leaks. You remember earlier in the game when I talked about deploying more of these things so that I was producing more water
Anomaly found.
than was necessarily needed? I think that just paid off because nobody died. We had a fracture in the dome, and nobody died. So, there is no such thing as too much planning in this game. What building is not working? The water reclamation system doesn't have enough workers, and if I'm not mistaken, you don't have to have specialists there, so we will, over time, actually bring in some more non-specialist folks. Utility crops, okay, good. Although we are producing food, it's a really cool thing. And every time you bring more passengers from Earth on a rocket, the rocket has food on it. You see there's 90 units left, and so our little robots are dutifully bringing all this packaged food out and putting it on these pallets for us. They will be brought into the dome by the robots as needed. So, that's really cool. You.
Research complete.
Alright, what can we do next? Dome bioscaping, I think it's worth it. Yeah, it's gotta be weird enough living on another planet without... Oh, that's way up there. That must have been that meteor strike we saw. We can't get up there yet. Remember what I said earlier in the first video about ramps? Yeah, we're not there yet. And I can't spare the command rover to take off, leave the base, and see to that task just yet. So, have 30 colonists on Mars, you get one basic dome prefab, which means it's not going to affect the materials that I have on hand. I say, let's use it. Send some robots out there to unfold it. Oh, the rocket's ready to go. Ooh, it's got 8 units of rare metals on it. That should get us a dandy little payday that we can trade in for some research assistance. Alright, so now this dome at first has no life support. Thank you for that. That's why we build a passage. Remember, I left this one hex space open.
Sector scanned.
And I deliberately placed this other dome in such a way that we can connect the two. They can share power and water. Now, I do also want to go ahead and connect the pipes. That's not a bad thing to do. The dome must be connected to an oxygen producer. Well, it will be once they get the pipes. There we go. And we've got the passage going up. Little robots are building it as fast as they can. Cat attack. She paused the game. Thank you for that, Maria. So kind of you. Okay, so let's get some more living space going in here. Let's get more farm space going in here. infirmary, the security station, and of course the hydroponic farm. Oh, there's something I've been neglecting to build. We can do the fungus farm now. Fungus is fun. In fact, I think I will work on that. Drone hub is a ways off being a thing I can do. So let's see. Prefab buildings. Let's get a drone hub. And you know what? Alright. Don't want to run out of seeds because that's what keeps
Funding received.
this dude going up here, which is throwing all these seeds up in the local atmosphere and causing green stuff to grow. Oh, 225 million added to the budget. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Alright, I guess we can go ahead and start working on the fungus farm. Well, that was anticlimactic. This does have to be connected to the water infrastructure, which for redundancy's sake, I will do from two
Research
directions.
Complete.
This will also require botanists who can work in there. Too far from working drone commander. Okay, we're outside the range of the hub out there. But I can reposition my drone commander to rectify that problem. Everything else is still within the purview
Sector
of
scanned.
the drone hub. Ooh, there's some water up there. Interesting. How far away is that? It's a long but straight shot to the north. Okay, gonna mentally bookmark that one. Most of the engineers seem to be working in the electronics factory. It's fine. New planetary anomalies. Now these are the ones that you can send drones or folks to. RC Explorer, that's interesting. Alright, we have more living space. We have gradually getting the farm set up there. Alright, go find some more metal. Is that metal? Go get it. green going on. That's a good sign. It's a very good sign. One farm is not working because there are not enough workers. That's fine. Tater time. If you want more green on the ground, you have to build more of the forestation plants. It, like so many of the other buildings, has an effective radius, and yeah, we are seeing it operate to the maximum of that radius. Meteor storm. This region is about to experience a meteor storm. Joy. This is one of my least favorite things in the game, especially when it is as early in the game as it is. Excuse me, I have to relocate this wonderful cat. And sorry, I was just trying to show you to everyone. Later in the game, there are technologies that will help defend your colony against incoming meteors. And terraforming will also help because that will thicken the atmosphere, which means the meteors may just burn up before they harm anything. But we're not there yet. So right now it's a real danger. We have only one sensor tower, so we got less than a day's warning. Okay, how are we? We're not producing enough power. Well, let's build another one of these generators. Now, the thing about these generators is they require material to maintain them. You have to make sure you don't run out of that material. The Stirling generators require polymers. We're doing pretty good on the polymers, but you really have to be careful when you're building stuff. Is this something that I can indefinitely maintain? And it takes a certain amount. Yeah, it takes 25 units of polymers just to get the thing built. No life support. Dome without life support. Not enough power. Okay, I get it. I get it.
Sector scanned.
Okay, here comes the meteor storm. Let's pull out to the... Okay, seems to be up here so far on the plateau. However, it drifts, so it may yet come this way and affect my colony. The neat thing about meteor storms, there is actually a benefit to them. They will uncover anomalies that you can send your rover to go investigate, and that will pay off by giving you new technologies. Sometimes, not all the time. They don't always do that. Sometimes they just mess stuff up. Yeah, I'm seeing it kind of... Yeah, it's looking like it's drifting down toward where I am. That's not a welcome sight. There's one there. There. Yeah, here we go. A eulogy for an everyday hero who
We
died.
gather here today to bid a final farewell to one of our finest.
Oh, died of old age. Yeah, the hint directly beneath that is important. Each time a colonist dies from a non-natural death, 2 applicants leave the pool. That's how you wind up with all the melancholic alcoholics lining up to come to Mars, and not the engineers and geologists and scientists and botanists and medics that you need. So that's where that comes into play. Sit back and watch the fireworks here for a minute. Ooh. If it's actually in danger of hitting anything that you've built, it will alert you. Those are all hitting down there by those water deposits that I am going to want to tap later in the game, and that worries me.
Anomaly found.
I bet. "20 hours left in the meteor storm." That zoom out, courtesy of my cat. Thank you, Maria. Deliberately chose this angle so I can see the whole base and see kind of how close things are getting.
Anomaly found.
I don't doubt it. I'm not going to send a rover out there until these things are finished pummeling the ground.
Anomaly found.
It's leaving lots of things for me to explore, that's for sure. I'm just... not crazy about how relatively close to my colony the first meteor storm of the game is. Thanks for that. Here's the thing about kind of long play games like this. I don't normally play them a whole lot because they turn into time sinks. Dune 2000 is a great old favorite game of mine, and I love it dearly, and I refrain from playing it very often because it turns into a time sink where I'm playing it for 6 hours on end or something. This can be the same way, but right now, as I record this, we are in the midst of the COVID-19 lockdown. Oh, I think the meteor storm is over. I think. And so I've been playing this quite a bit because, quite honestly, because of the extremely uncertain nature of things when we moved cross-country, my kids are with their mother, and I'm not there with them. Now that kind of drives me crazy. I'm not going to lie. It's not, especially with events going on that are happening right now, that, really bring to mind the very real question, oh, okay, do I live long enough to see them again? Not saying that to be melodramatic, but it is a thing to worry about. With that in mind, I have been playing Surviving Mars quite a bit because, it's kind of a take your mind off of it sort of thing. I think there's some more metal up here. Is that not? No, no, it's not. It's just, neither is that. All right, let's set up some more sectors to scan. So I have been playing quite a bit more Surviving Mars. than I have done perhaps in the past. And it's just kind of a, like I said, just taking my
Anomaly analyzed.
mind off things, just trying to get my head out of that space where it's easy to begin imagining worst case scenarios. So anyway, emotion dump out of the way. Ooh, I've got 36 units of rare metals. That's cool. And I think the electronics factory is doing a decent job of recycling those rare metals into units of electronics, whereas polymers and machine parts, I can see I'm going to have to reorder from Earth soon. So this seems like an opportune place to pause it again and come back to it in a week's time to play some more Surviving Mars.